This Brother Peter, tidbits from the Word, way back in Job chapter 5. I said Isaiah in that last excerpt. Way back in Job chapter 5, and we've got down now to verse 20. And famine, he said, in famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. I was talking with some veterans not long ago, and I said, you know, God let you go through the war and come back here for a reason. You went through hell on earth over there and came back here for a reason, so that you could help others who have not been where you are. I have not been over there with shells falling around me. I have not been over there and had to learn how to dig a 6-minute foxhole. I have not been over there, even though I was in the service. I didn't get to go over there and do that. I have not been over there in hell on earth. I have not been over there walking through swamps with bloodsuckers and snakes and everything up to your armpits, holding your piece up over your head, and you pack back 75 pounds on your back and getting soaking wet. And I have not been over there and laid down in rain for 40 days and 40 nights over there in the swamps and on another man's shore. And I've been completely separated sometime from my other men, and it was just me. I have not been through that, but if you've been through that, God left you here for a purpose. And that purpose would be so that you could take what you've been through and help others who are going through similar things in their mind and in their life right now in this country. And now let me tell you what, in this world today, there is some forlornness. You know how that forlornness you felt when you were over there? There's people right here. They're not over there, but they're in a foxhole right here. I'm working with a young man right now. He said, Brother Peter, I'm going to take a walk over the park for a minute. In about 3 or 4 minutes here, he came back. I said, what's the problem, son? He said, there's too many people over there. I ain't no way I can be around that many people. Listen, he's in a foxhole. He needs to get out of the foxhole. He needs somebody to come alongside of him and help him out of it. Hey, he's not the only one. There's thousands like that. I have another man I'm working with the same way. I have 2 or 3 people, by the way, I'm working with all the same way. They say, well, I can't go to church, so many people down there. I can't get with that many people. I got to keep my distance. He can see them off at a distance, but he can't get near them. Can't get in them. Listen, that's living in a foxhole. We got to get out of these foxholes, folks. You veterans need to get out of your foxhole now. You come back and you say, well, Brother Peter, I don't want to go there. I don't want to talk about that. Well, I can tell you this. By relating it as an experience that you came away from, you could help many others with it. So, let's go back to the book this morning, verse 21. Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. Listen, when that little 45-mile-an-hour wind came by here with the hail in it the other day, I stood out there in it. I stood on my porch and I watched every second of it. And neither was I afraid. I prayed and talked to the Lord. I said, Lord, from what I read in the Bible, this is a visitation directly from you as a warning, saying I'm raining down these little penny-sized pieces of hail as a warning to you folks out there that live in that little town you live in, that I can come through here with golf ball size hail or even baseball size hail and destroy your town, and perhaps you would die too. And if you died, are you on that straight and narrow road? If you said, Jesus, forgive me of my sin, come in my heart and save my soul, or are you on that wide road to destruction where you're going to die and go to hell? All right, listen to this. If you are saved, this writing is for you. And he goes on to say in 22, at destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. Thou shalt not be afraid, and the beast of the earth, For thou shalt be in league with the stones of the field, and the beasts of the field shall be at peace with thee. Jesus said, if you're following me, you're going to be like a stone. You're going to be like the cornerstone Jesus Christ was. He was the first fruits, and he said, follow me, be like me. And the wild animals aren't going to scare you, and neither is the things that are going to come on this earth. And we might ask these questions. Behold, who is the happy man? He's the man that receiveth correction. Let's ask us another question. Do you despise chastening? The Almighty, who is God through Jesus Christ, says, do not do that. Let me ask you another question. For he bruises, but he mends. It's said up here in verse 17. If you get bruised by God, you get mended by God. Let me tell you a little story about a sheep herder. There's a sheep herder one day, had a little sheep, and the little sheep went astray. And the sheep herder went out and got the sheep and brought it back. Well, a few days later, he's looking around and the same sheep is gone. He goes out to get that sheep this time, and he takes that little hook stave he's got, and he broke the front leg of that sheep. Well, you said that's one mean sheep herder. No, he wasn't mean. He loved that sheep. He loved that sheep so much, he didn't want the wolves to get him. He didn't want him to fall in a crevice somewhere and him not be able to find him and he hang there and die. He didn't want him to get too close to some water and fall in and drown. He wanted to bring that sheep back to the fold and make it stay there. So he broke his leg. Then he mended his leg, all nice and pretty and good. He told the sheep, I love you. Now you stay with the flock. Well, you know that sheep got with the flock this time. And when his leg got well, he stayed with the flock because he didn't want that hurt to come on him again. Has God had to break your leg? Is God drawing you? Are you a sheep? Are you a sheep this morning in the flock of God today? Are you a sheep? If you are you outside of the fold? Do you need a broken leg? Or can you come back without him breaking your leg? I'll tell you one more little story. I'll get back in the book. If you have a child that is like you are, and you've been disobedient to God, and he's been disobedient to you, you give him a licking. And then you give him a licking again. And then if he doesn't straighten up, you put a fence around him so that he can't go anywhere. Has God had to put a fence around you? Are you in a jailhouse today? Are you in somewhere where God has made you captive of where you are? Has God had to touch your body and you're in a wheelchair or in a bed and you can't move? Have you been brought unto your body, brought unto captivity where you can't even use your body? Are you able to watch this program but can't get up or do anything about it? I tell you what you can do. If you're in that situation, and I have found out many people who are in that situation now, physically can't move or anything, but financially they draw an SSI check or something, and they actually fare very well financially. If you do not have a computer and your watches on somebody else's, get your own little computer with a webcam on it. Get on there and tell your story. Just like Brother Peter's doing with tidbits from the Word over here. Get on there and tell your little story so other people can know, so they don't end up where you are. You're where you are in captivity so that your story can be told. Now you may not be strapped to a bed or strapped to a wheelchair, but you're strapped in your mind. Now God will fix that too. He'll take you if you got a mind problem. If you'll get in the book, he'll heal your mind problem. I can show you proof of that. I can show you many people in the church today who've been healed from mind problems. Well, the last verse I want to read, 23. For thou shalt be in the league with those stones of the field.